Hey, it's your old pal Slim, and this is 70mm, a podcast for film lovers. Every Monday, I chat about recently watched movies with my close friend and artist, Danny Haas.
I mean, WALL-E is turning out to be the worst animated film of all time, according to this list. We might as well just remove it from the poll and then ban the people that voted for it.
And our own spiritual advisor and movie insider, Proto.
You know what? I used to be a big hater of they didn't reload their guns. This isn't realistic. Maybe they're just not showing it on screen. Like, can't that be? I mean, we never see somebody take a dump in a movie.
If you've been enjoying the show and 90s Action Month, consider leaving a review on Apple Podcasts or rating the show on Spotify, as it helps spread the word about the show. Later in this episode, my pick is featured for 90s Action Month, John Woo's Hard Boiled. Have you ever seen a gunfight take place in a bird cafe? Or have you ever driven a motorcycle into a dummy in the back of a moving van? It's time for us to live these dreams together. Enjoy! The animated summer is upon us. Quote from our Patreon post that Proto, the movie insider, eloquently wrote up. We're announcing next month's theme already. It's August theme. Animaugust.
That doesn't sound right.
That didn't pass the smell test during the test run. So we're still workshopping, but the animated summer will do. And Proto cooked this scheme up. You know, he retreats into his like deprivation tank. He closes it like a coffin, like he's Dracula. And he comes up with these ideas. So Proto, do you want to elaborate on our scheme for the first week of August?
Oh, no.
We've been talking about it all year of just how we haven't been doing many animated movies. We haven't gotten around to them. I think one of us almost picked one. But there's been a shortage. So we thought, why not just do a whole month of it? You know, we could have done another poll where we each pick a theme. But when we were talking about themes, this came up and I think we all just said, yes, typed it to our DMs all at the same time. And we knew this was the moment. I mean, what more do you want in August? It's hot out. You want to just sit down and see some beautiful 2D, maybe 3D animation up on the screen and have a good time. So that's what we're going to do.
So you had put this poll together. So our supporters, our patrons are voting on 6 movies. We have 6 options. Whatever movie wins, that's the movie that's going to kick off the month.
Yeah. The 6 movies, for those at home following along, Akira.
Oh,
The Adventures of Tintin. The Lion King. 1990, the 90s version, the good one. The Prince of Egypt. Princess Mononoke, and from Disney Pixar, WALL-E.
Goodness.
Wow. WALL-E is like holding the dance month spot. Remember when I picked dance month? You know, there was a buzz. Yeah. There's an electrifying electricity about that theme. It went down the turlet like a you know what, swirling the bowl.
Ew.
WALL-E's at 7%. WALL-E's pretty much out.
I mean, WALL-E is turning out to be the worst animated film of all time.
According to our supporters, yeah. It's
they hate WALL-E.
Yeah.
Who would have thought?
Who would have thought?
But
is
now,
WALL-E over? I don't understand. WALL-E is over. It's finished.
We might as well just remove it from the poll and then ban the people that voted for it.
WALL-E was like my all-time favorite movie for years. Like not even just animated.
Oh my
like,
gosh.
Favorite movie. Do I have a Danny WALL-E piece in my house?
Do you?
I feel like that's true.
Do you?
Have I done
have a
WALL-E
piece.
art?
Maybe it's not Danny. Maybe it's another artist, another dear close friend artist. But Lion King essentially is out right now. There is a movie that's running away with it as of now. Voting is open until Tuesday, July 19th. And in the lead, this could change at any moment, but in the lead is Akira. Do you believe?
I do.
Imagine those drums playing during Proto synopsis for Akira.
Oh my gosh.
The 4K army is going strong for Akira. They won it.
They won it.
Danny, what do you think about this poll so far?
Well, we picked the movies, so I feel good about this poll. I feel like it's fair and balanced, you know? Akira is a shocker, actually. Even though it's a masterpiece, I am shocked to see it running away with all the votes right now.
Princess Mononoke, don't you have? Isn't that like one of your faves? Your head just did a tilt. I thought you were going to snap your own neck when I said Princess Mononoke.
It's easily one of the bests. I mean, but this whole list is the bests. We made a list of the bests.
Yeah.
The best of the best.
Any of these would be great, except for Wall-E, obviously.
So that voting is open for supporters on our Patreon until Tuesday, July 19th. Get the vote out. Rock the vote. Vote or die for Animaugust, the animated summer.
Still don't like it. Still don't like it.
Before we move on, just a reminder, if you want to skip ahead to Hard Boiled, you can use the chapters right now. Let me just read some comments on this Patreon post. Princess Mononoke, right after its anniversary, ? Rob Stevens. Is the anniversary that close?
Just happened.
I got chills.
Yeah.
Guy Incognito commented, "Oh God."
He voted for Wall-E.
Let's see. Logan, poor Wall-E, the greatest Pixar movie of all time, doesn't stand a chance.
R.I.P.
Forrest, Moses has already had his turn on the pod. The Prince of Egypt. Prince of Egypt, as of this moment, not in the running. Is the Bible finished?
I can just hear the 1-star reviews.
Listen, you get a feature on Apple. Those 1-star reviews are coming. I would love to just read a long read on and interview the people that leave 1-star reviews in iTunes. Like, what's in their psyche? What it pushes you?
We will put you on the show.
What pushes you to say this podcast is so bad that I need to write a 1-star review? Like
anonymously.
Would love to know more about the brain of that person. But let's move on.
Let's do it.
Last week, we talked about the big meetup. Greater Philadelphia meetup just for supporters. Your VHS Village card is your entry. You need your supporter card. The beautiful card that Danny designed to get in. We got some big plans cooked up. We're going to watch a movie together. Proto might hold court, outside wearing, his linen gowns, his vegan slippers, and just tell us how we should be living from the movie Insider.
I'm getting my Lawrence of Arabia cosplay from Spirit Halloween. Oh, there it is. Taco. Taco knew right in chat.
Taco had it ready. My God. Yeah, I mean, I am literally envisioning you wearing that at some point of the night. Maybe it's like while we're eating and imbibing later in the night, and that thing just appears. You come out of the bathroom, you're wearing it.
Walking on top of the cars.
So if you want details, you want to come to the meetup at the end of August, we have all the details pretty much ironed out, but just for supporters right now. Did you watch any movies this week?
Yeah, I did. I got to watch some movies with the kids. There's a few good animated movies that came out recently that are released on streaming. I watched The Bad Guys, which is, I don't know who made this movie, but it's out on Peacock. I was surprised that it was streaming so early. But it's there. Got to sit down with the kiddos and watch it. I gave it 3 stars. It's a fun family movie. I want to say I wasn't blown away by anything in it. But it's a solid watch. I realized I don't really love Sam Rockwell as a voice actor. He plays like he's the wolf in it. And I don't really love him as a voice actor. But it's a good time.
Danny was talking about San Diego Comic-Con earlier in the pre-show. For people that aren't a patron, we usually have a pre-show before the show, and we have like an uncut episode that has a bunch of stuff after, so FYI. But Danny was talking about San Diego Comic-Con, and I remember when I first started going, maybe like 10 years ago, there was voice actors that had their own setup. And I don't know, I just feel like that's like not a thing.
No,
I mean like voice actors generally being picked for animated movies.
Oh, right. Now it's
just always
movie
like,
stars.
Sam Rockwell.
Chris Pratt's.
The Chris Pratts of the world.
Mm-hmm.
The art of voice acting is being lost. Sad.
How do we save it?
Can we save it?
Is it savable?
This is the stupidest line of questioning in the history of the show. It's like we're on Charlie Rose and we're asking the big questions about saving voice acting.
The other one I watched was The Sea Beast, which dropped on Netflix. This kind of came out of nowhere for me. But it was kind of the same deal. It was a good movie. I watched it with my kids, gave it 3 stars, had a fun time. Probably one of the better products that Netflix has put out recently. But it's a movie about a young girl who joins a sea monster hunting crew. You know, they're basically like a pirate's crew, but they hunt sea monsters in this world. Animation was fantastic. It was a beautiful movie. I love the ocean, love pirates. And if you love that kind of stuff, you really can't go wrong with this movie.
Sounds awesome.
There's another movie that I want to hear about.
Yes,
this skipped under my radar. I don't know when this posted. Mandy, 2018. Nick Cage.
Yeah, this movie, I had this on my watch list for a long time, and I had been waiting for it. So I sat down last night, watched it. This movie's a trip. I'll tell you that right now. This guy, this director, Panos Cosmatos. It's wild. I try to like write about it in the review, but it's hard to put into words just like the feeling I was getting, that like there were so many things in this movie that are so well aligned in terms of creating like a mood and a vibe and a sense of like the 80s of like crazy drugs, a crazy cult, maybe witchcraft. I felt like I was getting there was just so many like vibes happening. And then this guy this director, his style is just like over the top, but I think it really works. Like, I don't know. Slim, would you describe this as like a kind of like an artsy movie?
Oh yeah. Oh my God. I mean, remember the scene that jumps out at me? Like when they first, I think there's a scene where like the occult people like start tripping out, where they like kidnap somebody. I have like a vague memory of this one long shot on the like cult leader. And it felt like I was on drugs for the majority of those scenes. The music too, which it's the same composer, Johan Johansson, who did Arrival, who unfortunately is no longer with us. But the music was out of sight. I had an amazing time watching this too.
Gosh. Yeah. Yeah. I think if you're into trippy stuff, it's definitely worth checking. I mean, it is a horror movie. It's pretty intense. It has Nick Cage doing some scary things.
Our sweet boy.
Yeah, but I gave it 4 stars. I mean, I had quite a ride watching this movie.
So glad you finally checked that off your list. I meant to point out that we do have some new patrons this week. Fox, Andrew, J. Bill, and Robert all joined at patreon.com/70mm. So they got the deets about the meetup happening in late August. They get the uncut eps. They get discounts on Danny's art. And they get episodes that are available in our 70mm vault, only available to supporters. Which, by the way, we recorded our Hard Target episode watch along just for interns. That's coming very soon.
Very soon.
It's in the oven. And we also just locked, guaranteed, chosen our next supporter only episode. We got big plans.
Big.
Mm-hmm. A new era.
Dan, did you watch anything this week?
No. Let's move on.
San Diego Comic-Con
Busy.
prep week.
Yeah.
For
Busy
Danny.
week.
What did I watch? I watched the most talked about movie of 2022. The buzz is electric. The Gray Man on Netflix.
Stupid ass.
Ryan Gosling, Chris Evans, directed by the men who brought you Endgame and
Russos?
Civil War. Yeah, they're the directors.
Oh.
So Netflix, John, they directed it. One of them wrote the screenplay. Let me just read the synopsis. When the CIA's most skilled mercenary, known as Court Gentry, a.k.a. Sierra 6, accidentally uncovers dark agency secrets, he becomes a primary target and is hunted around the world by a psychopathic former colleague. That's Chris Evans. So Chris Evans, he has like this mustache. His hair looks great, though. He plays like a nutcase, agent like James Bond. And Gosling is essentially a James Bond. But I liked it. 3 stars. It's better than Red Notice. Like I have like the stink of Red Notice from Netflix still in my mouth anytime I watch like a Netflix movie. So compared to that, I said in my review, compared to that, this is Citizen Kane for Netflix. Like this is unbeatable.
Is it a very serious movie, or is it kind of like action blockbuster? There's some jokes.
It's definitely
thrown in?
action blockbuster with some like slow moments in it. Like there's so many action set pieces. It's a big popcorn movie. It's too long. It's like 2 hours. But there's so many chase scenes. There's so many car scenes. There's so many explosions. There's so many fights. So it's like, the fights that people loved in Civil War, like, oh, Captain America and Winter Soldier going at it in an elevator, whatever the heck movie that was. There's like a bunch of that, but with like Ryan Gosling and Chris Evans and other soldiers. So it's just like everything they probably wanted to do with like that type of thing, like espionage and all that stuff, but on Netflix and cost $200 million.
$200 million?
It's the most expensive Netflix movie ever made.
Inflation.
Why is it called Gray Man?
Because he's off the books. He's got no...
He's not on the knock list.
He's... Nobody knows anything about him. He's got no history. He's the Gray Man.
Yeah.
He's a gray man, whatever the heck that means.
Russo Brothers just making up terms.
So if you got nothing to do next weekend on Netflix and you want an action movie that maybe it will make you laugh, that's The Gray Man.
What an endorsement.
That won't be on a DVD cover anytime soon. One movie that is very hard to track down, doesn't exist, at least in the States, on Blu-ray or 4K, is Hard Boiled. 1992, this is my pick for 90s Action Month. I wanted to pick a movie with the least amount of whites in it to change it up for our podcast, and I think I did pretty okay. So, Hard Boiled, John Woo, we all watched it. It's available on YouTube. Proto, what's this movie about?
Chow Yun-fat plays Super Cop Tequila. When his partner is killed attempting to murder everyone in a birdcage cafe, Tequila vows to kill everyone. Meanwhile, super undercover cop Alan is working undercover with the goal of killing everyone. When Tequila and Alan's paths cross while murdering, they lock eyes and know that what they must do. In a town where every surface is coated in gasoline and every shotgun is filled with explosive rounds, Tequila and Alan must stop the bad guys from killing everyone the only way they know how, by killing everyone. Hard boiled.
Were we ready for Hard Boiled? Were we honestly ready for what transpired?
I do have written in my notes, at 10 minutes into the movie, I wrote down, "Sweet Jesus, give me strength for this movie."
Jesus, please help us. It's hard boiled.
Deliver us.
Danny, what's your backstory with John Woo? Is there one? Do you have any history with whispers of this movie growing up?
My history with John Woo would only be MI2, I believe. And I am a champion of that movie. I love MI2. And I think it's because that was the first Mission Impossible I saw in theaters. And so that was like my love affair with Mission Impossible. But John Woo, since then and before that, I haven't seen his other stuff. It's wild to me. I think I've seen like Broken Arrow. Well, now I've seen Hard Target.
Face Off?
I haven't seen Face Off. Only because it just doesn't interest me. Like I really don't care about it. It doesn't do it. I don't know. So yeah, I don't really have a history with John Woo, except for the fact that I love Mission Impossible 2.
God, I just had visions of like a Face Off bonus at, Shock Drop.
Yeah, we could do
Face
it.
Off. Do you believe?
MI2 was probably the first time that I heard his name as well. I don't know if that was the first. Yeah, maybe it was the first of his that I saw. I don't think I saw Face Off like when it came out in the 90s. So yeah, MI2 is probably the first for me as well.
I'm pulling up his page on Letterboxd to just track things. I think Face Off is probably mine as well. I had seen Wind Talkers with Nicolas Cage. Hard Target, we've talked about before, and interns will hear us watch Hard Target together. 90-minute movie. That was a delight for the three of us to watch that. It's coming out soon. Face Off, I have not seen Blackjack, but he has, a sizable filmography before that. Brian Forma, who I follow on Letterboxd, just logged Bullet in the Head with another Tony Leung movie that they did together. When three close friends escape from Hong Kong to wartime Saigon to start a criminal life, they all go through a harrowing experience which totally shatters their lives and their friendship forever. And that's like a war drama thriller action, which sounds, so I added that to my watch list like instantly. It sounds pretty cool.
I was reading about A Better Tomorrow, which is one of Chow Yun-fat's first movies with John Woo. And I guess this is a spoiler, but anyway, so the first one they did, he was like a supporting actor, but he gets killed off in it. But the people loved his character so much that A Better Tomorrow 2, they bring him back as his twin brother, and he's the main actor in that.
Oh my God.
Which I was like, God,
that's awesome.
I would love to do a double feature of that movie, those movies.
Oh. My first note, so for new folks, as we're watching this movie, we'll write down 3 things we want to bring up together. We'll go round table until we give our rating and honorable mentions. So my first one is about the introduction and like the main like intro to the film, which is, that birdcage cafe, whatever the hell that was. And then the scene after that. But it was just like, imagine being a studio executive, seeing this movie, and then making the decision to say, like, I want him to do the next Mission Impossible. Like that idea and that just like feeling must have been insane. Like if I was a kid and had watched this, like I would have put money down to see Mission Impossible 2 like immediately. Like holy cow, Tom Cruise in a movie like this? Like this is the most insane thing I've ever heard. Like it's almost like mind-boggling to me that it happened, and like in Tom Cruise's career, like not like thinking before Mission Impossible 2 even came out and seeing this could be the product, it had to have been such a wild thought to people like before it happened.
Man, this makes me really want to watch Mission Impossible 2 because I don't think I've seen it in 20 years. So now like having this kind of reference point for John Woo, having watched Hard Target and this, I feel like it would give me fresh eyes to see MI2 now.
I think I saw like MI2 first, so it probably clouded my viewing of like John Woo stuff. You know, like the slow motion in Mission Impossible 2, the doves, pigeons, or whatever. I think I probably just thought this was like weird. Like when I was a kid, like this is strange. What is going on? So I didn't quite get it back then, I don't think.
It really is crazy when I was watching. There's so many moments in this film, and even seeing clips from his other films, where I felt like, oh, this is where this came from. And to think that we got a Mission Impossible John Woo movie, it's so wild. There was a shot, I think I have it in my notes, where he walks in with the roses in the box. And I'm like, oh, Cameron, did you just totally gank this for Terminator? Like, it's crazy how influential so much of this is.
Right. Yeah, he did. So Hard Boiled, and then he had 1, 2, 3. So he had 3 American movies after that before he did MI2 to kind of like, I guess, hone his skills or whatever, but pretty wild.
Hold on a second, though. Al Pacino did The Gun with the Roses back in Dog Day Afternoon. This is in the 70s. So please.
Art imitates art.
Exactly.
You know?
Imitates art.
Whatever. Proto, what's your number 1 for Hard Boiled?
My number 1 is the whiplash I got just from the swings in the tone of this movie. I love the bits with the smooth jazz, the smoke-filled rooms. You know, their drip in this is something else. I mean, it's super 90s. They kind of look ridiculous to me, but I still love it.
Yeah,
like these suits that they're wearing, the bold colors. But then it just would like swing so far. Like some of that, like the I would say like the where it seems very cool with the jazz and the slow-mo. It actually reminded me of 2 Wong Kar-wai movies that we haven't covered, which is The Chungking Express and Fallen Angels, which has like some really similar scenes, like action scenes. But they fit more with the tone. This, it just feels like John Woo has those scenes, and then the action stuff is just like over the top, through the roof, like mind-numbingly dumb, just blowing the whole room and everyone up. So it just felt very odd, those kind of moments. And then another moment is like that scene with like Alan on his boat or whatever, screaming into the void.
Yes. You were like, so when you started posting IG stories of clips of the movies, I knew we could be experiencing something special. That's a rarity for you to hold your phone up to the screen and post that on Instagram.
Is Chow Yun-fat the worst fake instrument player in the history of cinema?
I love that the jazz club's name is Jazz Club.
Yeah. I was watching his fingers on the instrument. If I don't remember, if it was a clarinet or a sax or whatever, and it was off by every beat of this music that was being played. It was driving me nuts.
Danny, what's your number 1?
I'm going to start off strong. Okay.
Start it.
The hospital scene. And more importantly, the 2 almost 3-minute one shot that he does in this scene with Tony and Chow going side by side through the halls. Did you catch that?
My God.
I sat up in my chair and I got like 30 seconds and I'm like, excuse me, is this a one shot? Is this a one shot right now? And when they go back to back in the elevator and it opens back up and they keep going, I was just prayer hands. I was just so excited because I used to hate kind of gimmicky stuff, and I feel like one shot stuff gets gimmicky. But everything that was happening in this scene was insane. Mm-hmm. Like just an insane amount of, infinity bullets in these guns. I had to read about it when that's not even an elevator, the set. When it closed, they redressed the outside real fast and then opened the doors again. Like what? That's insane.
I honestly wondered that when they got in that elevator. I wondered if it was like a trick shot or something. That was cool.
They just redressed the set right away, right when the doors closed, and they reopened the doors. And they didn't go anywhere, but it made it look like they went down a floor or whatever. Like I couldn't get over how amazing that scene was.
I was going to say that the thing with the hospital scene is I can't remember a movie where there was killing of like innocent civilians and hostages so outright in the way in this movie. Like that scene where they're all in that one room and I can't remember. They're like going to start to get them out. And then the bad guys come in and they just completely mow down the men and women who were hostages. And you just see them all riddled with bullets. I couldn't think of a movie that had done that in that way. It was crazy.
He annihilated them. Even his like number one in command was like taken aback. Like his
Mad
main,
Dog.
yeah. He looked at the boss and he's like, "What the?" Like even that guy was like, "Holy shit, we're going crazy right now!" And he tried to like shoot his own boss. Holy smokes! That scene. It's like an entire act. Like the entire third act is the hospital scene.
Yeah.
Like you are physically exhausted by the end of this movie. Like I actually thought that when that scene started, I was like, oh, we're wrapping things up here. That's like 40 minutes of nonstop action and death and explosions.
And babies. The whole baby plot line.
The whole movie, I was like, where is the effing baby that he's holding? He's not even wearing that uniform that's on the poster, by the way. Like, he wears these like silken wind pants, whatever the hell he was wearing. Like he
How
just
about
walked
him
off the
like
beach.
stopping 3 times to like go check on the babies throughout this crazy scene? There's a scene where he is diving, blowing guys through walls, like everything is exploding. 5 seconds later, he like walks into like the NICU where the woman is with the baby. He's like, "Hey, how's things going in here?" It's like, dude, you were just murdering people, and you just decided to jump over to where the babies are to just check in how everyone's doing.
Mm-hmm.
Insane.
Yeah, one of the notes that I had in my honorable mentions were the set pieces. So in Hard Target, the finale takes place in this like really cool warehouse with, what do you call those things?
The parade floats from
the
Mardi
floats,
Gras.
Mardi Gras parade floats are all in there, and there's this amazing shootout where things are exploding, birds are flying across, people are riding things, and guns are blowing up. And in this one, it's the hospital. It's like there's always paper flying across screen. There's something across the screen that is just showing chaos, or they're running in between, set pieces. I don't think I've experienced that in an American action movie before. Like, and especially not in the 90s where it's not some BS CGI thing that potentially Gray Man has, but this is like legit real. And it's 30 years ago. Am I doing math correctly? It's like, it's so hard. That just looks so hard what they did in that hospital act to me. And I was just so exhausted.
Yeah, there's so many people jumping through windows. It's amazing.
Would you have the wherewithal if you're in a bad spot to just jump out the window? Like,
no.
This is it. I'm going to jump out this window. I'll be fine.
No.
You don't know what's going on outside that window, how high up you are. Ugh. My number 2, this is also related to Hard Target. It's about the guns, but how about the one guy having the same gun as Lance Henriksen?
Oh, I thought that too. The
From Hard
one-shot
Target.
musket thing.
Yes. I that was my sit-up moment where, so in Hard Target, Lance Henriksen has this weird single-fire gun, and we were making fun of it. And in this movie, the same gun appears. So
The
that's
bad guy has it.
John Woo thing. But the guns in this movie, like this is a bygone era. Like this is a video game movie. I think someone in our Discord, sorry, I can't remember who, but someone called it like a Rails, arcade game where you're just seeing a movie version. Trainer says it was me.
We can cut it from the recording.
We'll check that. We'll confirm that. But that's true. It does feel like one of those arcade games where you're standing next to your buddy with unlimited ammunition. This is the movie version of that, which is insane.
I you know what? I used to be a big hater of they didn't reload their guns. This isn't realistic. But then, maybe they're just not showing it on screen. Right?
Cut for time.
Like, can't that be? I mean, we never see somebody take a dump in a movie. It's like, all these people aren't taking dumps. this doesn't make any sense. You know, it's like, well, maybe not. Maybe they're not going to show the reloading of the guns. Okay. I came to terms with that. And I think everyone else should too.
The movie Insider has spoken about movie dumps and ammunition. Danny, what do you think about the guns and the constant shooting and death?
It's funny because I forgot that for the plot of this movie for a bit. I forget that it's an arms dealers, mobs going head to head. So every time I see the amount of guns, I'm like, oh yeah, they're arms dealers. There's going to be boxes of guns hidden everywhere, like that warehouse intro scene where they're hiding it in cars and all the things. So I don't know. I enjoyed it. I have a good time watching it.
Right.
It's ridiculous. I mean, every bullet exploded. It didn't just like pierce a wall of drywall. It blew it up. There's a great shot too in that warehouse scene. It's with Tony, and I think Chow had just rappelled through the roof, and the camera tracks Tony like jumping through the back seat, and it's real quick, but it's really nice. Like there's a lot of really nice little tracking shots that he does. There's one in the T opening battle where he's going down the like the hall of tables, and it's just all the guys just slowly getting shot as the camera goes by them. It's really nice. I really liked it.
Proto, what's your number 2?
My number 2 is the chop shop scene, which is just insane as well. So the bad guy's Johnny Wong in the beginning of the movie. He kind of goes to wipe out this triad boss, who Tony's character Alan is working for undercover. So they go raid this chop shop that they have where they have like these guns and stuff, but they go in and they just destroy everything. You know, I'm thinking, you know, if we're going to try to take over this guy's warehouse, why not try to preserve some of this, like these valuables? But yeah, the merchandise, like you could turn this for a profit. He's a businessman, but they just go in and destroy everything. And not all, I'm not like, I was like you, Dan, I wasn't really sure all the time what was going on in this movie. And I love how like Chow Yun-fat's character gets there, and it's like him versus 100 people. And he's like, I can take him. You know, he just like repels through the roof and goes to town. It's crazy.
It's like Batman in Batman 89 coming through the rafters, and he just repels down. And again, that reminded me of the Jean-Claude scene where he's riding the float and somehow still alive and wrecking people. Like there's no reason why that you should do that or that should work, but somehow it does. Where's the motorcycle scene happen? Is it in there? The fabled IG story that you posted?
Oh my God.
A meme in Discord?
That's where he has the exploding shotgun rounds.
Well, my favorite part about that, the thing that I found so funny is that you see Tequila, he rides the motorcycle into a tractor trailer and just lays into this guy. But then you see a shot from the backside where he's like up against the boxes, and there's clearly a dummy like laying on the ground with its arms like in a way that's impossible. And the motorcycle just like keeps revving into the boxes. It's just an amazing shot.
That shot, like I verbally said, yo, like out loud when that guy got wrecked by that motorcycle coming through that.
It's like the stunt coordinator had just like threw the dummy like in front of the motor. They had to time it right where he's like, I'm just going to throw. We're not going to prop him up. It's just that was the one take.
It happened so fast.
Danny, number 2.
I'm going back to the hospital real quick because when we get to the point where Tequila is finally holding the baby. Chow catches on fire. He gets to the window and he's trying to get his linen dockers have caught on fire from the ankle to the knee. Extra wide boot cut linen dockers have been lit aflame, and he's trying to stomp it. He's holding a baby in one arm, a gun in the other, and all of a sudden the fire gets put out by what looked like water going down his leg. but the baby pisses on him and puts out the fire on his legs. And I was in awe of this writing. Who thought of this? The fact that they did it, he calls it a little piss pot and thanked the baby for putting the fire out on his legs. This is cinema. This is why we go to the movies.
This is it. Mm-hmm. Where is the cut of Nicole Kidman watching this scene in the AMC theaters?
Right, exactly.
The baby stuff is so wild. There's a scene where they're rappelling outside, trying to take the babies to the ground level and get the babies out. And there's one guy who is rappelling down, hold the baby. He gets shot maybe 50 times. He does not drop the baby though. He's getting like eviscerated. His body is going back and forth. He's getting shot, and he still manages to bring the baby down. Insane.
Yeah, those snipers on top of the hospital, they are just killing anything that moves.
They weren't missing.
My number 3, let's see, we talked about the third act, the guns. Going through my honorable mentions real quick. How about when Tony shoots that real cop? That stopped me in my tracks.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
That guy who was working against the bad guys, doing his own thing solo, and then Tony like accidentally shoots him. Holy smokes. Felt terrible. I'm trying to think if there's any of these honorable mentions that's worth bringing up for my number 3, but I don't think so. The stunt, the Bird Cafe. We should probably just talk about the Bird Cafe.
Please.
Like, what is going on in there?
Take me there.
Why would you ever want to eat in a cafe that just has like birds, potentially bird droppings hovering next to you or above you while you eat or drink? But besides the point, the cover shot of the movie is in there where he slides down the stairwell, leaning on the hand. What do you call that?
No. He's running, sliding.
Oh,
you have to look at his legs.
He's still running too. He doesn't
but he's
just
also
slide
leaning
the
over the rail. It's so good.
That was an amazing stunt to kick things off.
Gosh.
There's a lot of sliding in this. I think Tony Leung like rides 2 gurneys in the hospital. Oh, and then he goes through he comes out of like the morgue cubicle or whatever that thing is.
Yeah. They slide out, guns ablaze.
How about in the tea house when Tequila gets covered in flour and he puts the gun to the guy's head and pulls trigger and he's already like covered in white powder, but then the blood splats all over him. What a shot.
Oh my God.
Holy cow.
That was nuts. Proto, number 3.
Yeah, I guess all I have is like honorable mentions. Oh, I love the part. So the whole reason this scene happens at the hospital at the end is because they built a fortress under the hospital to hold the guns.
Of course.
And at one point, Johnny Wong, he says, turn on the gas. So they rigged up this gas, this poisonous gas, I guess to kill everyone in the hospital if they needed to do that, which is a wild choice. Johnny Wong is just out of his mind.
He's a sick.
So one thing I thought was really cool was the way they communicated to the police with the code in the song. Remember that? I think that was Tony Leung's character would send them like a numbered cone. Yeah, and then it would be like a tune to a song, and then that would be like the code to have the message or whatever. But those computers in there, man, I just wanted to like sit down at one of those consoles and just
the clicky clacks of those keyboards.
Oh, the clicky clacks, the MS-DOS. Take me back.
God, MS-DOS. I was so huge into MS-DOS. Getting that on our like
Instant
first computer.
Hacker.
Oh my God, you felt like you could do anything. Anything.
You could. There were some great lines. One of the lines I love, the police chief, he says, if you obstruct me again, I will castrate you. Which is an amazing.
What a line.
And there was one other thing. What was let's see. Oh, yeah. So the way that when he finds the book that has the gun inside of it.
Oh my God. What was that? That was insane.
He's there for like 2 minutes. And he's like, there's a like an outline of a book around the blood. Of course, like this book was picked up and then nothing. I don't know. But he goes and he immediately finds the book within like 2 minutes, and there's the gun. Amazing police work by Chow Yun-fat. Amazing.
My line in my notes was, lol, he finds the book. How? For that scene.
I could smell the blood.
Danny, what's your number 3?
Number 3, the boat scene is incredible. And also Alan getting shot in the back with the shotgun, but not dying.
Yeah.
Like, was it buckshot? Like, what was that? It looked like, I was like, oh, damn, Tony's out of the movie already. I'm sad because I was really liking his character. But then he's not dead. He got shot in the back with a shotgun, but it's just a flesh wound.
Yeah, I thought
and he survives. But that whole boat fight is nuts. Also living on a boat in my next life, please.
Yes.
God.
You just be like Tony, wearing your
I'd be exactly like Tony.
wide leg khakis,
just
resting in that ground floor.
Men's warehouse suit.
The rest of my honorable mentions. I also had a line, yo, he shoots that guy as he's covered in powder. Jim using the handcuffs as a screwdriver was nuts.
Oh my gosh.
That was pretty crazy. Too. He just cuts the bottom out of the wall. I don't even remember that. I don't even know why I wrote that. Sliding off the slabs, we mentioned, damn, he shoots a real cop. These stunts are nuts. I had a great time watching this. I can totally see being an American executive getting like legit excited. Like, come over here. Let's make some things with some American stars. One call out too in my notes, the one woman in this movie and she's in charge of the babies. Probably could have made her do a few other things. I think she had some cool scenes towards the end.
Yeah, she gets smacked and then she just eviscerates that guy with the pistol.
Yes. Let's see. 4 stars for me. Had a great time. Hard boiled. So glad we were able to watch this together. Proto?
The one other scene that I loved was the eye patch guy.
Mad Dog.
The assassin. Mad Dog. I like how he just put on the doctor's scrubs just to throw the guy down the laundry chute. And then he takes them off immediately. But yeah, I had fun with this movie as well. I mean, it's a wild ride. Like you pretty much, I feel like it's a movie you gotta watch at least once.
Got to.
But yeah, I was kind of conflicted with some of it where I thought some of it, like, I don't know, like it felt like pretty corny at times. I mean, the story isn't that great. The writing's kind of weird, but you're not really watching it for that anyway. So I give it 3 stars, whatever.
3 stars.
3
from Proto.
stars. Let me check my, when Tony's character goes in before he kills the guy in the library, he uses a handkerchief to turn the turnstile, but then rubs his finger down every spine of book before he gets to his book. I don't know why that struck me, but I was like, I had to write that down. Handcuff, wrench, piss pot. Yeah. I had a great time watching this as well. It's not a 5-star movie, but it's definitely a 4-star movie.
Oh,
Had a great time.
hard boiled in the books. 90s action month. We're so close to hearing Danny's pick.
Right around the
action.
corner.
He's locked. He's never been locked harder on a movie than he is right now. These memes of me in my basement, I don't even know what to say anymore. Who is in the...
You're not even involved anymore in this.
I'm not even in it
Really
anymore.
there.
I don't even know what I'm looking at.
All right, so we have a voicemail. I'm going to play it. You can shoot us one at 70mmpod.com. We have links on how to do that.
Hey everyone, Bean here. Sorry I haven't left a voicemail in a while. I've been pretty busy with work and have been trying to work on my new LiveJournal movie blog called The Movie Outsider. What do you think of it? I think it's a pretty cool name. Anyway, I'm calling in to let everyone know that I'll be voting for The Prince of Egypt under no pressure of anybody else, and really think that everyone should vote for that too. There is a specific villager, Bex, I think it is, who really wants to win, and she seems like a pretty cool person, so we should vote for that. Anyway, thanks for the show. Talk soon.
Goodness.
So that was from, quote,
you,
Bean, who allegedly has no relation to former producer and guest of our Stranger Things episode, Ian. I'm doing air quotes, allegedly. What do you think we have a private villager channel, villagers only, that we don't look at. It's muted forever. What do you think the tone is in there today with this voting situation?
It has to be insane. Has to be.
Do you think Bex has a history of learning how to sway the
violence? She's a history of violence.
Emotional violence in our Discord. Do you think she can do it and sway the vote to Prince of Egypt, Proto?
It was done before. What was the movie they swayed something?
Was it Dirty?
Was it for?
No, I think it was Attack of the Clones. Did she sway the vote for interns too?
I think it was Flash Gordon, wasn't it? Didn't they something?
God,
or maybe it was Twilight. I think Dave might be right. Maybe it was Twilight. But this has happened before.
Yeah.
So
it's happened before. I don't know if she can do it again. Let me just refresh the voting. I just want to see if there's been any change. Wow. No change.
Not one change.
All right. So just a reminder, Animaugust, the animated summer for August, the winning movie will kick that month off. And then from there, we'll pick our own movies. But before we do that, it's Danny's pick for 90s Action Month.
I know I gave myself this rule of picking movies I haven't seen and you guys haven't seen. When it comes to 90s action, we've seen a lot of them, okay? The ones we haven't seen, we already know they suck. And I'm not going to end this month on a dud. So I'm picking a movie that I've given 5 stars. I'm picking a movie that Slim has given 4.5 stars. Picking a movie that Proto has not rated or seen, allegedly.
Death sentence.
So next week, we're going to be covering Heat.
Oh my God. What? Holy
We're going to end
cow.
90s action with a bang.
I can't believe it. I didn't even know that was going to be in the running. Oh my God.
We're going to do it.
4K. Amazon.
He's already looking for the 4K. Michael Mann, 1995.
he did it.
It's time.
Is this the biggest episode in the history of the show?
Could be. Oh, it could be.
Move aside, Stranger Things episode. 30% off on Amazon right now. $24.41. 4K UHD.
Mamma mia.
Amanda, you're not listening right now. Okay.
Average letterbox 4.2.
It's not going to be available before we record, though, according to this. August 9th is when the 4K drops.
The 4K is out. Oh, my. We'll do it twice. We'll do it back to back.
Redux in August.
Yeah, we'll do a Redux.
For Heat. Listen, the 1080p looks gorgeous. You know? You know that. I know that.
We all know it.
It's Heat time. It's time for Heat.
It's time for Heat. It's time for Michael Mann again. Redemption from the Ali episode.
Oh my God. You talk about a dud.
Wow.
Ali.
But we're here.
Retire Will Smith. Jeez. All right. Another ep in the books. We got a lot going on.
A lot.
We have our next supporter episode planned. We have a date to record it. We haven't announced anything yet for the next supporter string of eps. We have our intern ep that will be released soon of Hard Target. And we got Animaugust.
And we have Meetup.
And we have the Meetup at the end of August.
It's insane.
Oh, man.
And also thanks to our friends at Pocket Cast. We forgot to call them out, who are spotlighting Tape Deck.
Thank you,
Very
Pocket.
nice of them to do so in our friend shows. Proto, any closing thoughts as we get ready emotionally for Heat?
You know, the thing that shocked me the most is that Hard Boiled came out in 1992, and that Hard Target was the next year. It's amazing what a budget can do for you. You know, I mean, that's what I'm assuming. Maybe a big difference in budget. I need to go deeper. Maybe I'll do a movie insider report this week as to the differences between Hard Boiled and Hard Target, and really get down to the nitty gritty of what happened.
What?
Where did his financing go?
Goodness.
What?
Probably won't happen, but we'll see.
Just before we go, mea culpa. I just went to Vudu. There's a Heat Director's Definitive Edition, and it says UHD $4.99.
Oh my!
Can we get some people on this? It's on sale for $4.99 right now on Vudu. So
$500 for a movie,
and it syncs to our friends at Movies Anywhere. So you buy it on Vudu, you can watch it on Prime, you can watch it on Google Play, Apple. The Heat Blu-ray is usually $5 at Best Buy, says Jada Kiss. So, all right, we have some options. 4K, HDR10, Dolby Digital Plus 5.1.
Mamma mia.
Next week. We'll see you then. $70mm is a tape deck production featuring original artwork provided by Danny Haas. Spiritual guidance and V'ger, the robot who loves movies, provided by Pertalexis. Producer at large Dale_A. Transcripts provided by Sophie Shin and music composed by Cinematric. Prints and other merch are available on 70mmpod.com. This episode was mixed, edited, and produced by me, Slim. Support our Patreon for access to our VHS Village Discord to talk movies with new friends, access to our exclusive episodes in the 70mm vault, discounts on merch, uncut episodes, and a physical membership card mailed to you. To check out other Tape Deck podcasts, find the link in the episode notes. And if you'd like to support our friends at Letterboxd and upgrade to Pro or Patron status, you can do so with a 20% off discount using the links on 70mmpod.com. Goodbye.
This is a Tape Deck podcast.